Happy Easter! Okay, I'm going to get our lovely Harriet. Right, I've just invited Harriet from So Me Sunshine. I'm just double checking actually that she's on that account. That would be a bit awkward if she wasn't. But I hope everyone can hear and see me okay. I'm obviously not at home today, so it's a bit different. I'm in lovely sunny Dorset with my in-laws. So yeah, not the usual fabric backdrop. Let me just double check that I've invited the right account. Let's do this one as well. Okay, whoever is first wins. But I hope everyone's got lots of chocolates today. Yes. I said to my husband, Stephen, yesterday, I was like, we have eggs too, right? It's not all about me because this is my holiday too. And then he ran out to a shop. So I'm assuming I didn't have anything, but I do now. Okay. Why is this not working? Okay. Let's just double check everything. This happens sometimes, doesn't it? Okay. Right, fingers crossed. It just doesn't seem to go through. Oh no, come on. Right, third time lucky. Because sometimes you invite them like 3 times and then it works. So, oh, happy Easter from Dallas. What time is it in Dallas? Durham Mint? Junior Mint 06. What time is it in Dallas? Thank you so much for joining us, or me at the moment. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. So Me Sunshine has joined. So let's try that. Okay, that should work. This is my fault if it doesn't. I'm sorry. Okay. Fingers crossed. Yay!
Hi.
Hi! Happy Easter!
Happy Easter. Is it too echoey?
No, I can hear it okay. Is everyone else happy with it? We can talk a little bit so that they know, because I keep going, how's the sound? And then I'm silent.
If it's really echoey, then I can pop my headphones in. It's just they're a bit temperamental.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Totally happy with that. Sorry, I didn't know which account to invite you from, so sorry that took a little while. I was getting a bit confused. So you look so beautiful, Harriet.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the headband.
Emily, self-assembly required. She made it for me.
Oh, well done, Emily. She's so multi-talented, that girl.
I know.
So you are also not at your home. Where are you today?
I'm not. I'm at my parents' house. I grew up in Northwest London, but they moved out into the countryside, so I'm like near Aylesbury Vale way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's above London or below?
Yeah, above
Yeah, above.
London.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Lovely. Oh.
about an hour and a half away, so
Oh,
not
nice.
far.
Yeah, not far at all. And is it nice
Yeah,
weather there today?
very, very nice. Nice blue skies, lots of sunshine.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think I might have got people's wires crossed a bit today, or well, we all got a bit confused because I was served a really big brunch outside yesterday, this morning, and like 10 minutes ago, and I was like, I can't do this. I've got to go into quick unpick. So I'm sorry if I have a bit of indigestion. Oh, it's
I should say I've escaped, so that's why I'm actually in the bedroom I'm staying in this weekend.
nice.
So I am actually sat in bed.
I know normally we would have, our colourful fabrics behind us. So this is our
Oh yeah,
Easter,
yeah.
our
Normally I
Easter
would have done
edition.
this in the studio.
Oh, well, I'm really pleased, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Easter Sunday, because I wasn't, 100% sure whether it would be a good time to do a quick unpick, but it's always a good time to talk about sewing and catch up.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. All right, it's so good to see you, by the way. It's been so long.
I know.
We've made a few plans that we've had to cancel along the way.
Yes.
So it's good to have an actual face to face. And yeah, I think I kind of know your sewing story, but I'm sure not everyone here does. So should we start with that to kick things off?
Yeah. So what you want to say, like how I started sewing?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, for anyone that sorry if anyone knows, because it is something I've spoken about before, but so to cut a very long story short, pre-Sew Me Sunshine, I was a nurse, a registered nurse. I used to work in intensive care, and then I moved into the community as a specialist nurse. And oh God, how many years ago would it have been now? Probably about 5 years ago, I ended up becoming quite unwell, like with my mental health side of things, and I had to take some time out of nursing, just to get myself better on a better path. And as part of that, my husband, who I've been with for a long time, he bought me a sewing machine because he knew that I'd always wanted to learn to sew. And he just thought, oh, that'd be something nice for her to do, something to take her mind off everything. He was very right in that. And so he bought me a second-hand one off eBay, I think. And I took a plunge and signed up to beginner's sewing course because I didn't even know how to thread a sewing machine. And I actually did, so I'm from London in the UK, and I signed up to a class at Sew Over It in their very old shop in Islington, which is North London. And I did a beginner intro to sewing, and then after that I went to Clapham and did a dressmaking one. So I did those quite close together, and I kind of fell down a rabbit hole from that. Really enjoyed it. Threw myself into kind of like the social media side of things of the sewing community, found my people.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously, along with, not just sewing, but I was got a lot more got better at myself. Sewing played a big part of that, and then I reevaluated everything, and from that started Sew Me Sunshine, actually. So that was kind of, Paul was like, oh, why don't you turn this passion into something? You love fabric, which, I mean, we all love fabric, but I really was a bit geeky about it. And my kind of aim at the time was like, oh, if I can try and do this, then I can do my nursing part-time and have this as another income source, so I could do part-time, just have a bit more kind of work-life balance. But Sew Me Sunshine took over, and it quickly became my full-time kind of, well, not kind of, my full-time job. And yeah, since
That's
then,
totally amazing. 5 years,
that's kind of my
Harriet,
story in a nutshell.
that's not a long time, 5 years to go from never sewing to having a international renowned business. That's amazing. I'm
Thank
really
you.
I'm so happy to hear that, because honestly, I mean, I remember meeting you really early on and you telling me about Semi Sunshine, and it was a seed of an idea, and just seeing it grow
Oh
and grow and
yeah,
grow, and your team grow, and you've got a warehouse, your studio and everything. It's incredible. It's so good. So
yeah. It is
yay.
crazy to think that like it started in my spare bedroom as just kind of like a very like tiny thing. I remember getting orders like getting like 10 orders and being like, oh my gosh, I've got to pack these straight away. And obviously like the love and care still goes into everything, massively. But yeah, it's just grown in a really good
Yeah,
positive way.
really
And I'm so
positive.
grateful, really grateful. I don't get as much time to sew anymore, but
Oh, that is definitely
we'll
one
get
of the
there.
massive down points of making your hobby into your career, is like, when do you get the hobby
Yeah.
time again? But
I
yeah.
know. Hopefully soon.
Yes, exactly. So tell us a bit
Um,
about your team and your kind of general day to day. Because obviously, you've had quite a lot of changes with pandemic as well, and that's been a massive change. You
yeah.
had to pivot from being in your warehouse to then suddenly having to go back to your
Oh,
home and things. Sorry, I've
oh
asked you
God,
like
that was
four
horrible.
questions there.
It was absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh my God. So I suppose, oh God, I can't believe it's over 2 years ago.
I know.
So
Can I just say, you are like Halle Berry at the Oscars, because whenever I think of pandemic, I think of your crying story. And you know how everyone thinks of Halle Berry at the Oscars, and that
I
like
did. I was
started the
really
whole thing.
upset. I
Of
remember.
course.
Okay, so basically, again, to cut a very long story short, 2 years ago, I think we were all like trying to think back now. We're all aware. So at that point, 2 years ago, about I think 8 months prior, I think it
Mm.
was, I made the jump to get kind of, so basically I started in my spare bedroom, then I built a studio in our garden, very, very small, but a little studio just to kind of get it out of the house, which I really enjoyed. Um, and then we made, I always say we because I always feel like Paul, my other half, has a lot. He's the one who's always pushing me to do more. And he found this unit and was like, let's go for it. So I ended up, obviously it's a leap, right? I'm paying rent, I'm paying
Yeah.
business rate. Um, which is like, if I don't know if business rates exist in other countries, I'm sure it does, but it's basically tax. Um, and and then I realized quite quickly I really needed some help, and the lovely Lisa, Tiny Stitcher, she came on board with me. That was life changing. It was just so nice to be able to work with someone.
Oh, and she's
And
such a force of wonderful
oh,
energy and
also as
everything.
well, her sewing is just impeccable. I mean, she does, so as well as working for me, she does sample sewing. I always say she's a professional seamstress, although
Yeah.
she doesn't like to call herself
No,
that, but
she
she
is.
is.
She's definitely.
She's an amazing seamstress. Anyway, so then we moved into this unit, and it's in a big building with lots of other businesses, and we were on the first floor at that time. And then obviously it was all kind of COVID, and you know, it was kind of like whisper, 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 wasn't it, really, at the time? And then it was build up, and we all knew it was coming.
Mm.
But the government kind of screwed us over in the
Oh
fact
yeah.
that, well, it screwed us over in lots of ways, but screwed us over in the fact that they didn't, they kept, they made the decision, when they had to make the decision, they made it too late, and it meant that no one had time to kind of prepare, because
Oh,
it
it
was
was
almost
such a
like,
mess, wasn't it?
it was an absolute mess. And also as well, naive of the government as well to assume that, oh well, we'll just put this work from home order in and everyone's going to be able to do it.
Mm.
Like, yeah, if
Yeah,
you work in a
small
corporate
businesses,
industry,
thanks. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And our business is, um, so the building is owned by like quite a well-known company that owns loads of buildings and rents them all out. And for some reason, they made, so Boris, who was our Prime Minister, made the announcement, and I was actually in the studio at the time because it was all this whole thing being like, I think it was like 7 o'clock or something, and they
Yeah.
were like, you know, the announcement's coming, and I logged on to see, and it came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, because it was literally was like, that's it, work
Mm.
from home, and I was like, can't, I've got all my fabric here, and if I stop selling, that's it. The
Yeah.
business will fold. I won't make an income. I won't be able to do anything. So it was, I mean, I know that from talking to other fabric shops, it was really like
Yeah, huge blow.
emotional.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because you're
Because it's
just
your
like,
livelihood, it's everything. And also
yeah.
for you and for a lot of other people, the whole no childcare then suddenly came into it. And it's like,
Oh,
so I've
don't
got to be a
even go
full-time
there.
mum, full-time run my business. It's really tough.
It was awful. And I say we, but it was actually just me. So if you think about it, like because of the type of law that came in, Lisa couldn't, that was it.
Yeah,
She couldn't even help. And
yeah.
then the building owners made a decision that they were going to lock up that. So because I was on the first floor and I didn't have direct entry to the building, I couldn't even access the building. So I basically, and they said that we had, I think it was 12 hours to take anything we wanted home. And in that time, they decided to switch off the lift. Um,
Oh,
so I brought my car round, and filled it. Well, kind of had to make a bit of a guess on what people would like, and filled it as much as I could by myself. Drag all these fabrics, obviously not dragging, I shouldn't say, looking after them
They were
nicely.
beautifully.
And like put them in the car and drive them back, and then take them out.
Oh,
I even think back and I'm like, how did I do it?
wow, yeah.
And you're right with childcare. So at that time, Arthur, my little boy, was just one. He was one and a bit. And you're right. So Paul works in an industry whereby he mainly works from home anyway, but his job didn't stop. Like he
Mm.
wasn't, neither of us were furloughed or, or anything like that. So how we did it was he worked obviously all week, well, Monday to Friday, I should say. And then we quickly ate dinner together. So I looked after Arthur in that time, quickly ate dinner, and then I was like, all right, okay, I'm out. So then I'd go out into the studio in the garden and work till about midnight.
Gosh.
Um, and then I had my trolley, and then I had a really good relationship with my local post office, and we agreed he'd open before he opened to the public for me. So he'd open at
Oh.
like 7-ish or 7:30, and I'd go down there with my trolley with like I had bungees over my trolley. Like when I say trolley, I mean like proper big trolley, and I had bungees over it. And I'd walk down there, and then I'd have to stand, and he'd have to process all the mail for me. Because actually he did it for me, but he also did it for him because he was like, I can't have an
Get through
hour
it all, yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and then
bless them
obviously
though,
I'd do
that's so
that, come
lovely.
back and then be mum, and then do that till Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I'd work all day and night.
Oh, Superwoman, you're
No, I don't know
amazing.
how we survived. I
You did it
genuinely
though.
don't know how.
You did it, and I didn't see any dip in, how So Me Sunshine runs because you guys are so prolific and you're so on top of your social, on top of all of the things going on and everything, and all your new fabrics coming in. And I kind of was looking out in a way because I was like, oh, these poor guys, that it's going to be so hard. And I was like, they had completely kept it going though, and it was amazing to see.
Yeah, it was
So
quite messy behind the scenes. And also, I have to say, like, customers were brilliant at that time
yeah,
because, not only obviously it was only me processing orders, so, the lead time was longer, but also as well, the Royal Mail, so our postal service was struggling as well.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah, even getting fabrics, like
Yeah.
replenishing,
Oh,
nightmare.
gosh. And also because the craft community was actually blowing up at the same
Yeah,
time. So
yeah,
the
it
need must
did.
have yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah, the
well
company.
done. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, So Me Sunshine was growing anyway,
Mm,
really well, but 100% the pandemic um push kind of accelerated that.
yeah.
Um, I always feel quite guilty about that actually, because I kind of think, obviously the pandemic was horrific, and countless of people lost their lives, and it's
Mm,
horrible.
mm.
But so I always feel bad to say, in some respects, So Me Sunshine, and I know all the sewing, all the creative people, in some ways
Yeah,
benefited,
yeah, of
got
course
more
there was some
orders.
growth. But no, that's lovely though. People want to hear that because, it's so refreshing and it's so good that we hear good stories about what happened to us in the last 2 years because it was horrific for so many people. So if anyone can stand up in the middle of that and go, actually things have also improved in places, it's really, I think that's so important to hear.
Yeah.
Definitely. I had a friend of mine who set up a business in it and it completely blossomed because it was a deliver to your home service. She just happened to
Oh,
set it up
amazing.
just before this all happened. And it's
Wow.
completely made their career. It's done everything for them. And they were also like, we feel really bad about saying that. And I was like, no, it's so nice to hear. It's so lovely to hear that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's interesting. I suppose it was interesting for, I say us because as a team now,
Yeah.
um, post pandemic. So my main, well, not post, I shouldn't say, but post when we were allowed to like work. We
Lockdown,
were
yeah.
when it became it could be, well, we had so many lockdowns, but when it became the rule whereby if you can't work from home, which So Me Sunshine, yes, okay, a just amount did it for quite a number of months, but it was not sustainable
Mm.
to keep going. If you could work, you know, if you can't work from home, you can go into work.
Yeah.
Once that started, my main priority was like, right, I need to move out this first floor and I need to get to a ground floor unit because I was like, I don't want to, if this ever happens again and the building ends up locked, I want to have my own access
Mm.
because I can't operate like I was. Um,
So that's a really
so
big change,
that,
and it was a
that was
bigger unit as well, wasn't it?
Oh God, it's how big is it? It's like 3, 4 times the size.
Yeah,
Um,
amazing.
it's got, like I said, I mean, obviously my main aim, but COVID has scuppered that, is I want it to be like open, at least once a week for people to come and see, because I do appreciate, obviously, shopping in person is a lovely experience. Um, I've just been waiting for for my staff to all be vaccinated because I've,
Yeah.
you know, got a responsibility for them. And then we need to make the studio like more accessible for everybody because it's obviously we've got used to just not just having us there.
Yeah,
It's
of course, of
beautiful,
course.
but maybe not very safe to walk around all the time.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So what's your
Um,
team like now? Will you tell us a bit about how many are
yeah.
there?
Yeah, so Lisa's still working for me. She, although I offer her to be employed all the time, she's still freelance, but it just works out better for her with all the professional seamstress work she does.
Yeah.
And then we've got Jenny, who has, oh God, transformed my life.
Oh,
So Jenny was working at Tilly and the Buttons, and then she came on board because she actually lives not far from where we're based in West
oh,
London.
brilliant.
And her passion is video, and she's obviously got all the social media background. So she manages the social media channels and on YouTube, um, and which because I was having no time to switch off because I was like constantly on it. Also, as well, let's be fair, like I can be good to a certain extent with photography and stuff, but it's not my skill.
Well, it's also,
So she's
you put your passion into other things, so it's really nice to have other
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's been lovely. So she's really up to her game, and I've wanted to do YouTube for a while, and it was, she came on and was like, right, let's do it. Oh, and she does all our newsletters. She does like basically all of that. And obviously, like we as a team, we all contribute to it. But Jenny's the main like force behind it, and as
amazing.
is doing an incredible job. And yeah, it's lovely to have that support. And then we've got Celia. So Celia came on board, I'm trying to think, as a fulfillment assistant, so like to help out in the office because we had Ruth was still working actually when Celia came on. And Celia loves, all the team are really into sewing. So Celia really enjoys sewing. She loves sewing vintage patterns actually,
Oh,
and using kind of unusual fabrics. She's really into like fashion and fashion trends, which again is really helpful. I'm
yeah.
in fashion, but we're into very kind of different side of things.
Mm.
So that's been really great. And she came on board, and then when I was pregnant with Rose, so I've got a 7-month-old, I had a chat with her, and she came on the role as office manager. So she manages kind of like everything in the office. She's got so many hats, but she does everything in the office. Keeps on board on top of like organization, making sure everyone's okay, keeping me up to date with things, helps with buying, customer service, all of
Amazing.
that.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
great team. That's So
And then
good.
hold on, and then we've
Oh,
got
there's more.
Mitzi. There's one more. We've got Mitzi. So Ruth was working with us kind of like temporary. So she was from the theatre industry actually, and so it was very temporary. It was basically because obviously the theatre industry got hit massively with the pandemic. So she came on just to help with order packing
Mm.
basically as a temporary measure. And then when she was looking to go back to, you know, her passion and everything, when she was able to, that's when I put out an advert for another fulfillment assistant, and that's when Mitzi joined, who again, all of the Mitzi's not really on social media like Lisa isn't anymore really,
Yeah.
but again she's really into sewing and knitting and is incredibly good at it. So her main role is fulfillment, but actually again we all help out with like buying, we all get involved with that and come up with suggestions for different things. And
Oh,
yeah.
that sounds like so much fun. I bet you guys have an amazing time.
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, I'm not there as
I know
much
there's hard
because
work as well. Of course, well,
I
you've got
think so. I
Rose.
hope so. I just my aim is I just want the team to be happy.
Yeah.
Um, and I, you know, I want them to, yeah, because at the end of the day, I've worked in lots of environments where it's not been that happy. So I'm always like, I just want, you know, this should be a fun, enjoyable, happy work environment as best as it can be. So that's
Yeah.
always been my aim.
Oh, well, they're very lucky to have you as a boss because that's
Oh,
so
thanks.
lovely that that's the first thing you think of. Not enough people have that as their mindset.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit
Yeah.
about, we're already running out of time. I told you it went quickly.
Sorry.
It's crazy. But tell me a bit
Sorry.
about how now Rose has come along, and congratulations, she's so beautiful.
Oh,
Are
thank you.
you kind of on a maternity leave, or what are you doing at the moment? Yeah, you laugh. I thought you might.
Officially, yes, I'm on maternity. No, I'm definitely taking more time than I did with Arthur.
Good.
But I'm in the office at least once a week. I was having meetings with some of the team when Rose was, I think, less than 2 weeks old.
Wow.
Um, she's been, I don't, because I don't say a lot of this. She's been, so for anyone that knows me well, I got a lot when I had Arthur being like, wow, I can't believe you can work with him, blah, blah, blah. And 100%, like now I've had another baby who's very different to Arthur. He was a more chilled baby, and I
Mm.
could do a lot more work. Like he would quite happily sleep very well. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
a very,
remember
very
us talking
different
about this.
personality.
Well, because B and Arthur are quite similar ages, and we were both like, "Oh, babies are sleeping, don't tell people." So I'm guessing Rose is a bit different.
So she's very different. So with like Arthur, I suppose with Arthur, I was like, right, okay, he's having a nap, I can do my work. Rose isn't like that, and it's been very it was a tricky start at the beginning. I really struggled actually, unfortunately, with mental health at the beginning.
Mm,
Things are a lot better now.
good.
I'm feeling more like me, which is great. But she is trickier.
Yeah,
She
of
doesn't sleep,
course.
and she likes to be held all the time. And luckily, the team are very understanding with that. But it's only recently that I've kind of been able to be back in the office a bit more with her because she's not, obviously, I don't want her to cause,
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
crying when the
Yeah,
team are
I
trying
totally get
to have a nice day. But things are a lot better, and they've been amazing. I mean, they're all aunties to her, really.
it.
So,
Oh.
yeah, no, so it's been more tricky with her,
Hmm.
but I have been working. There's certain things I can't hand over. The majority of it I can, but when it comes to like finances and accounts,
Of course, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't.
What's your other
Yeah,
baby?
yeah, and plus the dog as
Your
well.
first,
So really,
of
that's
course.
four.
Oh, bless you. I mean, you're amazing, though, Harriet. It's so
I'm really not.
impressive. No, you really
I
are.
feel
You
like
really are.
I think a good example, it's something I say a lot, is I feel like I've got many, many hats and I don't ever get to do anything like as best as I can, because I'm always doing different, like swapping from being a
Well,
mum
then
to
you're obviously a
that.
swan, because on top of it all, we're like, you are gliding through.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's the important thing with social media,
Yeah.
behind the mask.
Yeah. But honestly, I really feel for you, because, you've had also two really tough pregnancies.
Yes.
And, have been very, very unwell. So the fact that you've kept a business afloat, yeah, you really are Superwoman. It's
This, like,
amazing.
honestly, the team have really helped keep it going, and Paul as well. I mean, does a lot, so
Oh, well done,
yeah.
Paul. That's really lovely to hear. Is there anything, I mean, I
Don't
would.
tell him though.
I know, then they get ideas. Well,
Yeah.
what I would love to know before we have to go is, do you have anything kind of for the future for So Me Sunshine that you're kind of, always thinking of, that will happen
Yeah,
at
I
some
suppose.
point?
Yeah, so I think something that's key, actually, before I say that, is because, so I'm really good friends with, like, the guys from the New Craft House and the Fold Line, and they've been, because I don't have as like a business partner as such. Like, I've got the team, which is great, but it's been quite nice to chat to others that are like Kate and Rachel and Hannah
Mm,
and Rosie, just to kind of, as fellow business owners, just to kind of chat about, how I'm feeling, and like with managing and things like that. And Rachel really like pushed on me. She was like, you've got to just see this as, like, at this period, you've got baby, you've got a team, which is great, and you're doing well, but just coast, like,
nice.
just
Oh, I
try
totally,
and
yeah.
go along. So that's been, she said that to me, and that really stuck with me. And I was like, you know what, she's right. Like, I keep
Yeah.
being like, oh my gosh, I'm not growing enough, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that.
Oh gosh,
Because I'm
now I
quite
feel bad that I
ambitious.
asked this question, actually, because she's
No,
so
no, no,
right.
no, no, no,
Because you
no,
have.
no, no, no. It does. But I would say one thing that I'm really keen to do, and I know the team are all on board with it as well, is to have the studio open to the
Yeah, I
public.
thought that was, yeah.
Um, I just need to, like I say, we need to make the studio, like I said earlier, like, accessible and safe.
Hmm.
Also, I need to do some training on, like, using the like the till and things like that
Oh
we've
yeah,
got.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I was hoping to do it sooner, but I'm going to be a bit kind to myself,
definitely.
and I've delayed it for a little bit. But that is kind of the main thing that will happen. And then it's just getting. I would like to travel for fabric buying. I haven't
Yes.
done that. That was my aim pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic struck. So, and it's only now we can travel again.
Of
So
course,
that's
yeah.
one of my big things I'd
Where
like
would
to
be
do.
your first location?
Northern Italy, 100%.
Oh, lovely. Yes, gorgeous.
Because that's where I get all my exciting ex-designer dead stock.
Amazing. Oh, well, that's
The
really,
best
really
fabric.
exciting to look forward
Because at the
to.
moment I don't get to see them in person before I buy.
Mm,
So it would be nice to actually see them in person. Because it is a bit of a
definitely.
gamble at the moment. I have to make a bit of a be like, oh, I think that's like that, and I think that would work for this, and oh, okay.
But until you see it in the flesh, you never quite know, do you? So.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that would
that
be
would be
quite nice,
so
I think.
lovely. I think that is a serious perk of the job that I can't wait for you to have, actually.
You could come with me, come
Okay,
traveling.
all right, I'm packing now. Oh,
That would be
it's been
lovely.
so lovely. I hope you have you got an Easter egg hunt or anything planned for today?
So they've already done it.
I really hope they're waiting for me, because I don't think they have either. Because B was like, "We're doing it now, mummy." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, they did it.
Oh, Harriet, I'm so sorry. Why do
No,
people
no,
think? Can
no.
I just ask you something? That this is something I've fallen into quite a lot. Is I'm a big kid, so I really struggle being a mum on days like this, because I'm like, I want the eggs.
So
I want the hunt. Like at Christmas, I'm like, I know it's all about the kids, but I still really want. Oh well,
look at
that's a
my
good
Easter egg.
start. That is definitely a good start. You'll be all right. But yeah, this is something I have to try and be really grown up about, and be like, no, of
Same.
course it's about my child, but I want the chocolate.
We do. Sometimes we need a bit of, like, love and care too.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lovely to talk to you, and yeah,
And
have a
you,
lovely,
Gabby.
lovely day. And
Yeah.
I'll call Paul and tell him to do another Easter egg hunt for you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been
Oh, thank
lovely.
you. Take care of yourself. We'll speak soon. Oh, I've
Bye.
got to just do a
Oh,
quick obviously it's not your competitor, but your person alongside Rainbow Fabrics have sponsored
oh
us
yeah, yeah,
today.
yeah.
So yeah, I know I feel
Thank
a bit
you.
weird when I'm
Thank
talking
you.
to another fabric company.
Thanks, you, Tiff. Thanks, you,
Yeah,
Tiff.
you
Oh,
two
I should
are
say
so
as well,
lovely.
I should say 10% off fabrics at Sew Me Sunshine over
Yes,
Easter.
yes. What's the token? The voucher? Oh, don't worry. I'll share it. It's spring or
Jenny's
Easter or
gonna
something.
kill me. She'll be like, Harriet.
Sorry, don't worry. You have other
I
things
know
going
it's
on.
on the grid. Jenny's done a nice thing, but it's 10% off fabrics, and we don't have discount all the time.
Yeah,
So
no, it's a really good discount to
treat
have.
yourself.
Okay, I
It's
will
on
share
today
that
and
now.
tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
amazing.
But thank you, Rainbow Fabrics and Yusuf. We love you.
Yeah, they're really lovely, aren't they? And thank you all for joining us on this lovely
Yes.
Easter morning. It's really great to
Thank
see so many of
you.
you here, and we will speak soon. Take care.
Bye, 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 bye,
Bye, bye,
bye.
bye.